Let's go ahead and shift gears, though, here. We wanted to start today with the ongoing Larry Millete trial. This is something that we've been meaning to cover, as, of course, opening statements were shared on Monday. We had our first witness testimonies yesterday, but a lot of this got pushed back because of the obvious, because of that Islamic Center of San Diego shooting. So we want to make sure that we go ahead and give this the time that it deserves. And we are going to start with day one, Jack, here with opening statements.
Yeah, you see right there. There's video of Mari Chris, that's Maya's sister, walking into the into the courtroom for Monday's proceedings. Of course, just a little bit of background, just so we're all on the same page in terms of the video and the content you're going to see. What you are seeing there is a sketch artist. That is the only form of media that is being allowed to be created within the courtroom and sent out. Of course, we do have notes. All of the video that you're going to be seeing that is not relating to courtroom sketches is going to be filed. I'll give you an example. Our reporting shows that Larry Millete in the courtroom is no longer wearing that mask. So when you are seeing that with the mask, those are from preliminary hearings, from other proceedings that have taken place between his arrest and now. We just want to make that very clear so that anything that, if you're watching at home, do not attribute anything that you're seeing here to whatever you may be thinking about the case in these proceedings, the trial specifically. So we just want to make that really clear.
And again, just as a matter of defense strategy, you will never see probably in modern day courtrooms a defendant wearing a wearing a jumpsuit in a courtroom in front of a jury, just because it subliminally, even to the most objective of people, it subliminally puts into their mind that this person, well, they're in a jumpsuit, they're guilty, regardless of like their status. That's why, again, they are allowed to change for that court proceeding. He's decided not to wear the mask in court, and we've been getting. Though we cannot have cameras in the courtroom, we have been getting very good sketch artists renderings, but then also very good details by the assembly of the pool, I should say, of the assembled media there that includes even some of our team. There's a rotation here. So a lot of these notes, again, all put together here to give us the best idea, as we said here, of what is going on. So I know that, Jack, we've been going ahead and we've been putting together all of these notes. Why don't you go ahead and lead us off here with day one and where we saw that get started?
Yeah, so of course, first day, this is the opportunity where we have both prosecution and the defense lay out their core arguments that we're going to see here. And remember, we'll air some more content, some more media here later on, especially as we get into our day two portion of it. We have Jenny Day. We're going to air her report. But this is expected to be a 3-month trial. So what we're seeing on Monday was the defense and the prosecution lay down what's supposed to be 3 months of testimony, a litany of witnesses. We'll start with the prosecution. They were who went first. The district attorney's office. Christy Bowles is the attorney at hand here. Their core argument for the defendant: divorce was not an option. Yeah. As we have made clear, there has been we have 5 years worth of reports about the relationship between Larry and Maya. The deterioration is not what's contested here. Yep. The deterioration of that relationship, of course, the question is, was Larry the one that killed her? What is her disappearance attributed to? Did she leave on her own will? Did she, as we've heard some people speculate, did she run off with a man that she was allegedly having an affair with, or was she killed? So that's going to be the core argument. We're paraphrasing these quotes. We're going to air quote the quotes because, like you mentioned, these are pool notes. So not everything is going to be exact. There are multiple reporters putting notes on this in very quick succession, trying to get all of this information. So keep that in mind. All of these quotes are paraphrasing. We at the worst. So we want to make sure we're making that clear and we're not attributing a quote that isn't necessarily 100% accurate. There's no world that existed that May Millete was not his wife. Rather than let her live, he killed her. That was what we were hearing. We know that May was planning to divorce Larry, take her children to Big Bear on January 8th of 2021. That is the day after she was, the last time she was seen. The prosecution says she is dead. The defendant killed her. I will ask you to find him guilty of first-degree murder. Some notes on, we have some notes here on pronunciations and stuff like that in here, so we'll omit those. But some background on May that they break down here is, of course, she is one of 6 children. Her family moved to Hawaii from the Philippines. Oftentimes, May was a translator between Maya, and we'll use Maya here. Officially, it is May, so I just want to make sure we're being consistent here. Maya Millete. She was a translator for her parents. Often, we'll see that when we talk about her father in his testimony here. Both of them were working at the Navy base. And then they lived in the San Miguel Ranch neighborhood of Chula Vista, with Larry's parents providing childcare. They actually ended up taking custody at first after Maya's disappearance and Larry's subsequent arrest. They have since gone out of their custody back with Maya's sister, Chris.
With Mari Chris. Yeah, with Mari Chris, who, by the way, is the oldest here. So, again, it goes into a lot of this opening statement here from the prosecution. It goes into a lot of the background that we've filled you in here about how it is that Maya and Larry met. But I think what's also very important here is it also goes into the last confirmed sightings of Maya. And essentially what they are trying to do is they are building that timeline for the jury about what it is that they believed happened to Maya. Because remember, they are building their case here for this jury. So they go into the last time that Maya was last seen, actually helping her daughter clean out the Jeep, their family Jeep, that Maya returns. This is also all on January 7th to the 8th. Then Maya returns home from the car wash. This is actually the last image of Maya on surveillance video when she returns home from the car wash. Then it goes into a lot of digital evidence here. Maya's phone, a Google search for a motorcycle, the last text message sent from Maya, a link to a trailer sale sent to a family group chat. All cell phone transmissions from Maya terminate at 1:25 a.m. on January. So this is technically January 8th. It's after midnight of January 7th. That's the last time the signal was recorded in her neighborhood. Now, defendants, his movement, meaning Larry's, cell phone data places him at the Lexus SUV, moves car into street, backs it into driveway. Defendant gets in the SUV, leaves at 6:46. He's gone for 12 hours. No known location here during this period. We've heard before that the defense for that has been that Larry did not bring his phone with him. But again, Larry's boss, his father, all unable to reach him. They have proof that he was essentially, that they were trying to contact him, but they believe his phone was powered down on January 8th with no messages between him and Maya from January 7th to the 9th. And it was brother JR and sister-in-law Genesis, who lived locally, who were sent to check in on the family, including their children. Their daughter, Meilani, answered the door. Larry told JR, the brother, that Maya was upstairs in the bedroom. They had a fight. He thinks he was disinvited from Big Bear, that family trip that they were all taking. All 4 family cars were at the house, and Larry told JR, my phone has been dead all day. I was out with my son. Maya's father, Pablito, arrived at January 9th, so this is a day later. Larry showed no reaction, said she must have gone hiking or jogging. Pablito waited 2 hours outside by her car. Then this is the phone call, and this phone call was played in court. This is a 911 phone call. Oldest sister, Mari Chris, called Chula Vista PD. She told dispatch she believed domestic violence had occurred, mentioned brother-in-law's propensity to violence. The prosecution goes on to detail how patrol officers arrived just after midnight for a welfare check. No sign of Maya at hospitals, jails, or morgue. Cell ping, no result. No sign of struggle. No obvious forensic evidence. All her clothes, toiletries, and an unexpired credit card remained.
Yeah. And then as time went on, we started to see the investigation go further, not just from the disappearance in January to throughout the summer and into the fall leading up to the arrest of her husband, Larry. So we're going to break down some of the key things that were found at the home. Again, we are still on the prosecution's core argument here. A letter from Maya to Larry that was found by the police explaining her state of mind, her desire to leave, saying, quote, "This is unhealthy unhealthy, toxic, things like I want to be happy, let me find my peace, I cannot live with you, ready to make that disconnect. We'll go into more detail about the efforts that Maya took to divorce Larry here in just a little bit. We saw spell books that belonged to the defendant, to Larry, practical magic, Wicca books, prosecution. Of course, we have detailed the not only his use of spells and magic, astrology, different variations of supernatural methods, I would say, to fix their relationship. We know that he spent over $1,000. We know that he has left a review for some of these online spell casters, and we saw the transition of some of the things that were being asked from more or less benevolent to more malevolent as the time went on. We mentioned stuff about getting injured, getting sick, so that she needed to be relying on Larry, stuff like that. A divorce appointment note, no packed bags, no signs of voluntary departure. We'll see the prosecution during one of their testimony makes the argument as to why that might be the case at that time. Again, we'll find that out in a later. And then there was also a small vial that was found in a subsequent search in October of 2021. It detected conine. It's the same chemical found in poison hemlock. Similar plants are found throughout San Diego. Of course, this is core tenets to the prosecution's argument of why we would see Larry be the one that they believe killed Maya. A deterioration of the relationship, a clear sign that the relationship was in fact over post the deterioration that had already been documented, and that Larry was becoming desperate to reclaim that. We're hearing the prosecution say that it was death, it was murder that was his last resort here. That's their core tenet of their argument. Of course, we have talked we have talked at length here recently about the relationship deterioration. We have talked about the spell casting. Let's and in your notes, Chris, I'll have you explain this. We got a lot more information from this argument about the final days. That's the 3 or so days leading up to her disappearance, January 4th to the 7th. I'll let you take that away.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, essentially, what these are looking for here is, again, more and more of the circumstantial evidence and really using that to paint through this timeline. So during these final days, they believe and are trying to express that things are ratcheting up here. Maya asked sisters for a $10,000 loan for a divorce attorney. We'll actually get into a little bit more about why it is that was so important, because based on some of the first witness testimony, sisters agreed to split it $5,000 each. Maya's therapist, who will testify, expressed fear that Maya expressed fear to him that Larry would become violent upon learning of divorce filing. Larry called Maya's father, I should say, and canceled childcare. Called Jamie Laird's wife to reveal the affair, claiming that Maya had an abortion. Maya reached out to the divorce attorneys. This is Broaden Law, and spoke with Destiny Johnson. Appointment made for Tuesday, January 12th. Johnson had noticed red flags. We'll get to that in the witness testimony. She's the first one who goes to the witness stand. Maya never made it to that appointment. Larry threatened to file an internal affairs investigation through Maya's command over the affair that she is claiming. Jeremy Laird's wife gave birth the night of January 7th. Jamie's last communication with Maya was that afternoon. Maya's iCloud showed a photo of a patched door. Her Sailor Moon Instagram, which was a secret account used as a digital journal, included posts about feeling poisoned by Larry, saying, quote, "I think Larry is poisoning me." So again, they're building up the timeline, the ratcheting up of the distrust between the two, but also, again, the things that even Maya, in her own words, seems to be fearful of. Surveillance video that will be available for use. This is the tail end here of the opening statements by the prosecution. There's the neighborhood ring camera where you see Maya cleaning out a Jeep, her daughter helping. The neighbor's camera, Maya returning home from a car wash. The last image of her, January 8th, SUV moving in the driveway. We've detailed a lot of this, but prosecution says all 3 clips were available from the preliminary hearing and will be used here before we jumped into now what was the defense's opening statements and some of the key highlights there and what it is that they are going to say to defend their client, Larry Millete.
Yeah, and I think one of the best ways to sum it up is something that Larry's defense attorney attributed to Maya, which is there's no proof. It's his word against mine.
That was a direct quote from,
a direct quote, essentially something that we've been talking about. There is no body. There was no sign of a struggle. Therefore, every theory is on equal footing. And in a murder trial where beyond a reasonable doubt is the core litmus test to a successful conviction, they're going to play that card and say that there are multiple opportunities for doubt in the prosecution's arguments. We'll go through.
We should also point out too, because this name is going to keep coming up here, and I just want to get to it because we did not mention it yet. But the Jeremy Laird, this is an important
You beat me
person.
by 1 second. Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
This is because I saw that you were about to get to it, but we skipped it in the prosecution. The prosecution admits Maya had a romantic relationship with coworker Jeremy Laird. They were both married, but they are framing it as giving Maya a, quote, glimpse of kindness and mutual respect. Jack, I'll let you keep going. Sorry about that.
No, and that's a good note because that's a perfect segue into what we're saying is, we see the prosecution describe him as Jamie Laird as a glimpse of a better life.
Yeah.
The defense is going to profile him as a potential alternative suspect. That is what that's what we heard them say. They lied under oath about the affair. This is according to the defense. They're saying Laird deleted an Instagram app every weekend to hide it from the wife, never reached out to May after January 8th, even after he had been contacted, purchasing a new cell phone before being interviewed. Investigators giving Laird multiple assurances that he was not a suspect. We were talking about the behavior that we were seeing Larry have with investigators. They're kind of flipping some of the arguments that you've heard the prosecution make about Larry's cooperation with authorities on its head, saying, well, if you think that's suspicious, maybe this is suspicious as well. Of course, we have seen them, we have seen Larry, we have seen multiple defense attorneys throughout this process raise the same case, which is what we have long assumed is going to be the best strategy of saying that there's an opportunity she's not dead. There's an opportunity someone else killed her. There's an opportunity she's in a different country with a different man living a new life. Essentially everything that the defense can do to convince that there are other opportunities for explaining what happened to Maya other than Larry killing her. Missing surveillance is another issue that they brought up here. The conine evidence, conine, I want to make sure I'm having that pronounced correctly. The vial wasn't found until October 2021. Tests, some of them came back negative, inconclusive, only one positive. They're throwing doubt into that vial that was found. Cell phone analysis has been disputed. Spellcasting has been reframed, showing a person desperate to keep the family together versus someone who is looking to inflict harm on his wife. The car navigation system, we remember. We've done reporting about how during the search efforts, they saw that the car traveled a certain time or a certain distance, and they used that as a radius, a search radius. They cross-referenced that distance to areas that we've seen them before. Maybe that was an explanation for it. They did not find Maya's body during some of those searches that were far into the San Diego County desert, closer to Imperial Valley, but they're disputing whether or not that is even a reliable source of what could potentially explain what happened in the first place. Word communications, among others, poking arguments into everything, saying that this is going to be a trial that is based on circumstantial evidence. We have talked about instances in which circumstantial evidence that has been put in a no-body murder trial has been effective. However, I think it is fair to say that you are still operating at a disadvantage where there is no smoking gun.
There's no cause of death.
There's no cause of death in particular. We still don't know that information right now. So that's something that we're going to see the prosecution play to their advantage at every opportunity that they have, including not just alternatives as to what could have happened to Maya, but a reframing on who Larry is. Of course, they're making that turn from someone who is desperate to have someone want him versus desperate to keep a family together. You can make that desperation for a person. You can do that. You can create a negative connotation where it's, if I can't have them, nobody can, which is what we've seen the prosecution do. They're trying to make it seem like a family man looking to keep that together.
And they've got also on their hand two people that they are trying to frame as, and again, this is something the defense doesn't have to do. The defense doesn't have to convince you as a juror that another person is the suspect, but they could at least put that doubt into your brain. And they're using that affair, the two people involved in that affair. And I don't mean Maya and Mr. Laird, but I mean Mr. and Mrs. Laird, that those are two people who would have reason to do something if this affair was exposed, because Jeremy Laird's wife had their baby on January 7th. And again, they are listing, the defense did, that she had a reason to dislike Maya. Her own phone was taken as evidence. There were missing call logs, and they are saying investigators never followed up. So they're putting that out there. They're not saying she's a suspect, but they are putting out that information, which could lead to the jury. Again, they have to have without a reasonable doubt that it was Larry who did it. But if you cast doubt, that's what the defense is doing here by bringing up those two individuals.
You make a great point. If you're a defense attorney, your main job is to defend. It is not to
find someone else,
explain why, what else could have happened. But if that is an opportunity that you can take, that is a tool you can employ in your pursuit of defending your client.
Yeah. So it will obviously be fascinating to see exactly how witnesses are used throughout this trial. We have day 2 coming up here after a quick break, where we get into those witnesses, including, as I said, a very testy exchange between one of the witnesses and also one that was maybe not as fiery, but was very enlightening here on really a lot of different sides. So we're going to get into that, and then, of course, we'll switch gears. But first, let's take a quick 2-minute break. All right, welcome back in. This is right now on streaming live on the CBS 8 app. It was an emotional day in court yesterday. We expect it to be another one here today. But Maya Milete's father took the stand yesterday in her husband Larry's murder trial. We also heard from a former coworker and a member of the law office where Maya sought a divorce. News 8's Jenny Day has more on the father's outburst and the other testimonies from yesterday's proceedings.
Really just a gut-wrenching day in court. Maya's dad just sobbing and screaming at Larry, why? Why did you do this? Larry sat pretty emotionless listening to his former father-in-law, Pablito Tabalanza. He was one of 3 people who testified today about the couple's marriage. Day 2 of the Millete murder trial included the receptionist from the law firm who Maya had contacted about a divorce the very day she disappeared. Also a coworker who had become a close friend over the years. The friend, Jasmine Ruker, saying in front of Larry that Maya told her if anything were to ever happen to her, it would be Larry. She went on to say Maya told her Larry would never let her leave and that they would never find her. Chilling because Maya Millete's body has still never been found more than 5 years later. Jasmine worked at the Navy's Southwest Regional Maintenance Center with Maya, where Maya was a contracting officer for ship repairs. Jasmine told the court Larry creeped her out one day after finding him outside of Maya's office, face pressed up against the glass, peering in. Maya and Jasmine also took a work trip together to Virginia, where she observed Larry constantly texting and calling, screenshotting Maya's location, FaceTiming, and demanding to be shown around to see who was nearby. She testified that Maya was no longer in love with Larry and exhausted by the situation. Finally, Jasmine said she witnessed Maya as a mom countless times and that she would have never left her children. As for the other witness today, Destiny Johnson, the law firm receptionist, she told the court she assists people in obtaining divorces. She said Maya called the very day she disappeared. Destiny told jurors she takes up to 15 calls like this a day, but what Maya said to her stood out as concerning. So concerning, she alerted Chula Vista police. She said Maya was adamant she could not come into the office because she was afraid her husband would find out. During cross-examination, though, the defense pointed out Maya did not say on the call it was an emergency situation, and she did not request a domestic violence temporary restraining order. So again, Maya's dad will be back on the stand first thing tomorrow, followed by Maya's sister, Mara Chris. She is the one who initially made the 911 call reporting Maya missing. We also have a full timeline up on CBS8.com from opening statements where, again, that does include the defense suggesting an alternate suspect. Reporting in Chula Vista, Jenny Day, News 8.
Yeah, you just heard Jenny Day there. She's actually going to join us here tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So we mentioned we're going to hear more testimony from Maya's father. We're going to hear from her sister. So it should be a fascinating day to break down with Jenny coming in here tomorrow. We're going to add a little bit more context because she did a really good job, as she always does, to break down some of this stuff. But we're going to go in order of the witnesses that we saw here. Yeah. So Destiny Johnson, at the time, was a receptionist at the law firm in which Maya sought a free consultation. At this time, it was just a free consultation to seek about a divorce.
An appointment, yeah. This is January 7th, by the way.
January 7th, the day that she disappeared. She is a paralegal now, but this was the time where she was a receptionist. She mentioned, she had taken thousands of these calls, and there are instances in which there are certain clues, is what she's describing, as to whether or not this is something that she should be concerned about. She mentions that Maya was determined to carry out what she wanted, of course, that being a divorce. But she also says that Maya gave her the impression that due to the situation she had with Larry, it made her feel like Maya was being surveilled, lacked autonomy. Of course, the biggest thing that you heard Jenny say there was that Maya did not want Larry to know about this phone call that she was having as she was preparing to, or at least exploring the concept of a divorce here.
Yeah, I think it was key because Johnson described that word determined. I think what she's trying to say is that she was determined to get out of the situation that she was in. But again, there were obviously a lot of fears about how to pull it off. I thought that was key. Now, there was an appointment that was scheduled for about 2 days, or excuse me, a week later, January 12th. But obviously, Maya did not show up for that. There was no payment required up front. Johnson emailed Maya on January 7th to confirm. Maya submitted intake form, but described as pretty immediately. A payment authorization email was sent to on January 10th. Of course, Maya never responded. This is beyond the fact when she went missing. Now, Johnson goes on to testify that she would flag situations to attorneys that could be potential domestic violence temporary restraining order cases. Now, again, This is the paralegal now, then receptionist, saying she basically had the autonomy within the office. And this is common, but basically saying, I believe this could be one of those cases, and that would give the lawyers more context. Noting clients often don't really know. You hear this a lot. People in abusive relationships sometimes don't know that they're in one.
Sometimes we hear they're the last to find out.
Right. And so then this is something that, again, she says that she flagged to, obviously, the attorneys. Now, granted, again, none of this came to fruition. Maya was later declared missing. Her body has still not been found. Now, cross-examination. This was done by Leanne Sabatini, the defense attorney for Larry Millete. They go on to basically say, hey, look, Maya did not request a domestic violence temporary restraining order, correct? And again, you hear Destiny Johnson say, yes, like that she did not describe it as emergency, did not articulate a history of domestic violence, and did not raise child safety concerns, and that a phone consultation was not unusual at the time because we were in the midst of a global pandemic, COVID-19. Defense goes on to suggest financial service basically was sort of an upsell motive for Johnston's characterization of the call, basically trying to kind of get things going, and that Maya's appointment was postponed at Maya's own request, that it was not because of anything nefarious, that was Maya who postponed it. It was Maya who did not bring up domestic violence, but it was only Destiny Johnson. I say all of that because that's the defense essentially putting more doubt into testimony, which is, again, really, prosecution's not working with a whole lot. Defense isn't really working with that whole lot, but as you pointed out, they don't have to.
Yeah. So to maybe kind of summarize what you said there, basically what they're saying is that these the law firm has the ability to take in a certain amount of information and make a judgment call. That's whether are they going to call the police or are they going to flag a situation for a domestic violence
and they
thing.
did it.
But they operate on the information that is given to
Correct.
them. They're saying that the evidence that you should take is whether Maya said that was the situation or not. We heard her note that there are times where clients don't say it, but I think that you see the defense here essentially trying to take that claim and bring it to a draw.
Yeah.
Saying, well, maybe it says that, maybe they don't recognize it, but maybe they also do and don't say it, because, divorces can happen without that as well. So you're trying to air that doubt as we're talking about that you said so well. So let's get into the second witness. This is Jasmine Rooker. This is a colleague and a close friend of Maya at the time their time at Southwest Regional Medical Center, now a contracting specialist. They say that she says that she met Maya in 2014, worked under her. That relationship evolving to a close friendship, had very great things to say about her. They took a work trip to Virginia, and this is where she says she really started to get an idea as to what this relationship looked like. She says that she observed Maya constantly on the phone / FaceTime, essentially being exhausted by what they're describing as not only a constant communication with Larry, but I would say a relationship that was often being surveilled by Larry. Her locations. She said that Larry had been texting Maya, "I know where you're at." And this was an issue that Maya essentially confirmed verbally to her, is what she's saying here on the stand, saying that she was, quote, not in love with her husband anymore, saying that Larry told her he wouldn't let her leave. They would never find her, saying that she observed Larry FaceTime Maya and demand she show who she was at lunch with. There was also another instance here. This is not in Virginia, where she says she saw Larry press his face against the window of Maya's office. Again, that is at the Southwest Regional Medical Center, where Maya was rolling her eyes. Larry once took Rooker directly on a FaceTime, saying things like, "My wife is so beautiful. There are so many guys after her. I just got to keep the romance going." And this is the one that you heard Jenny say in her story was, we hear Rooker tell the defense attorneys that Maya had told her, if anything ever happens to me, it was Larry.
Yeah.
Of course, that is that elicits strong emotions. Certainly quite the thing to say. We also know another thing in regards to the tensions with their marriage is also the relationship with the children. I think one of the biggest thing that you've seen communicated, not just here with Rooker, but with the defense's core argument, with a lot of other things that we're seeing the defense do. One of the key things is that they want to make it abundantly clear that Maya would not have abandoned her children for any reason.
The prosecution, you mean?
Prosecution, yes. My
yeah.
apologies. I've meant the prosecution this whole time. The prosecution wants to make that an abundantly clear thing because they're trying to disprove the concept of her leaving to be with another man, going on a second life. So that's something that we hear her mention. And similar to many other of the witnesses, Rooker says that she had no communication with Maya after that date, January 7th.
Yeah. And let's go over now what it is that the defense in their cross-examination of Rooker tried to establish. They went and questioned her about what she told a detective for the Chula Vista Police Department, that Maya, quote, didn't mind Larry checking in and that Maya smiled during calls, suggesting that she enjoyed the attention. Rooker clarified, though, pushed back against that assertion, saying Maya smiled through everything, even when unhappy, and that her perception evolved over time. She did acknowledge that she could not confirm with personal certainty that every call and text during the Virginia trip was from Larry. And defense questioned whether the window incident was simply Larry knocking due to bad cell service in the building. That was something that was an objection, though, that was sustained on speculation. Mm-hmm. And then defense raised rumors of Maya's affair with a coworker named Kogan and then Laird, multiple hearsay objections that were sustained as well, too.
Maybe it's important to note here, if you're listening, some of the courtroom lingo, if something is sustained, that means that the judge agrees with what you're objecting to, and that gets essentially
on that basis.
That essentially gets whether it's speculation, hearsay, leading question, whatnot. If it is overruled, that means that it can continue to go on as
really it's instructions for the jury as well, too, because when something is sustained in objection, they are supposed to sort of delete it from their brain. If you will. They have to act like they didn't hear that.
If I'm asking you a question that I am intentionally asking to make it sound like you are guilty of a certain crime and they object and the judge agrees, that is something that you essentially, you mentioned it. You have to unhear it, erase it from your memory. So we just want to make that clear in some of these instances, but it does give us a good idea as to some of the strategies that we're seeing from them.
And then next on the stand, obviously, was the witness that we expect to hear continue today, and that would be Maya's father, Pablito. He testified through a interpreter. And again, so a lot of this was kind of a back and forth. Now, he testified approximately at about 2:05 yesterday, recessed mid-testimony due to an emotional outburst. Key points, though, that we have from here is that the prosecution was partial and that prosecution partial, cross not yet complete. So we're still waiting for all of that testimony to kind of go through. But he testified that he observed tension between Maya and Larry at Christmas the year. So this was the 2020. So this is a month
This is
before.
1 month before.
Testified that they were not getting along.
Before.
Yeah, really, 2 weeks. Received a call from family that something may have happened to Maya. Went to the Millete home with wife Naomi. Arrived at the house. Larry said Maya was upstairs. We went through this a little bit in the opening statements as well, too. Pablito went up to find the bedroom door locked. Larry retrieved the key from his pocket, opened it. Maya was not there. Pablito called out Maya repeatedly, no answer. Larry then pointed out Maya's credit cards were on the desk. When asked where Maya might be, Larry suggested again, quote, maybe she's out there hiking. Maya's father said that Larry then came to him downstairs, put his arm around him and said, quote, don't worry, Papa. I will always take care of Maya. I would do anything. I love her. Mm-hmm. Maya had called her father earlier that week to come watch the children. Larry subsequently called to cancel, saying an aunt would watch them instead. Described Maya's voice on the call as, quote, a little heavy and, quote, sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quick note on this aunt in particular. It's not. I don't believe it's a family member at this moment.
So
I think
one of
it's
those like
a term and endearment in
yeah.
Hawaii to call any father or any adult or a friend, auntie or uncle. I believe that's the context here. I'm not entirely sure, but just so we have it correct. Again, it's one of those instances that they're portraying where there's clearly someone missing. There's clearly something odd afoot. However, we've mentioned there is no sign of a struggle. There's a lot of details here that you typically see in a case where you're seeing someone's loved one disappear, yet it's not there. So not a whole lot as to a smoking gun. Like we always say, the body isn't there to rely on. But there is an interesting story that Maya's father tells. And this was a month prior to Maya's disappearance. This was at a party at their house in Moreno Valley, where Larry had stood next to him, patted his pocket, and said, "Papa, I have a gun here. I want to kill somebody." And there was not a target that was named. Some of the questioning here got rephrased quite a bit of time during objection because, again, this is another one of, if you're part of the prosecution, these are the moments that you want to stick in the jury's mind, which is, you don't have any proof per se that he killed someone, but you want to establish that he said that he could at this time. So an important step here for the prosecution if they want to get the outcome that they do. We were about to get to the point where we were going to see the defense do their cross-examination. However, we saw a moment where Pablito Tabalanza, Maya's father, while describing this incident in particular, stood up and became very emotional, was yelling, crying directly at Larry. We have some of the quotes here saying, "Why did you do that to my daughter? I loved my daughter very much. Why did you do this?" It says here in the notes from our pool reporters that Larry maintained a blank gaze. Soon after, the judge cleared the courtroom. The gallery was also visibly upset, is what we're hearing from our reporters. The defense attorney left in tears per other reporters. We did not see this one witness this directly, so that's not fully confirmed. So, that's not confirmed. That could be true. We just don't know at this point. However, after we saw, as a little bit of time came past, we had the jury and we had the attorneys come back. We saw on the record here some notes about what happened after this incident and before it was dismissed for the day. We saw that the defense moved for a mistrial because of this. Yeah. Of course, that is a witness not directed by any attorney of some sort having an emotional charged moment up there. That is, as emotional and as human as that is, because that's something that we do see here, and the judge acknowledges that, and we'll talk about that in a second. That is a huge conflict for the jury, and I'll let you explain that.
One more time. I'm so sorry. I was going through.
No, you're good. We got a lot of notes here, and we're moving around. But essentially, why don't you describe what the jury is saying, or what the judge is saying to the jury about this incident?
Sorry, the limiting instruction. Basically, disregard the accusatory statements, and just kind of put that away. And the jurors had to then indicate that they could continue and acknowledge that they could go ahead and limit, again, what it is that they took in from that. Obviously, as you pointed out there, the judge denied because the mistrial allegation. Now, I think it was interesting here. There was a couple other things here before we go to break. The interpreter note.
Yeah, he was speaking Tagalog.
But he was not sworn in. Mm-hmm. And they had to correct that as well, too. So that was something else that was sort of noted. And then defense had to put in a statement here for the record. This is what I was reading here when you asked me that question. Was that she had an emotional reaction and had to clarify that was human, not strategic, and emphasized it should not prejudice her client. Of course, we're getting all these notes, and we're not seeing video of all of this going on. And so it really brings a lot of the intrigue to what is unfolding in the courtroom. Mm-hmm. You mentioned the gallery. You mentioned the jury, how it is that they're all taking this in. The father of this woman who's been missing for 5 years, presumed to be dead, murdered, alleged to have been murdered by her husband, something that this trial is all going on. I have to imagine that was an extremely emotional scene that took place there in that South Bay courtroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned this, and I'll say it again. The judge essentially saying that it is understandable for someone who lost their daughter to whatever it could be at this moment to have opinions as to what happened. But those are not the opinions aren't something that the jury needs to take into account when it comes to the decision that they have to make. It has to do with the facts that are on there. So a critical moment for a judge to emphasize the importance of the instructions that are being told to the jury before the trial, before they, as time goes on, before they break out to their deliberations at whenever that may be, but especially in the heat of the moment to ground the jury back and kind of do some sort of a reset, which of course, is part of the reason why we saw that the proceedings were over essentially at this point.
Yeah, they're going to restart today, and we'll have Jenny Day in studio tomorrow to go over what is unfolding today in the courtroom.